The IMF's managing director's trial will start in the middle of December. This is in connection with a massive state payout to a business tycoon, Bernard Tapie. Christine Lagarde approved the payment when she was the finance minister in France. Consequently, she's now facing charges of negligence. She's repeatedly stated, however, that she's innocent, but she does risk up to a year behind bars and a fine of $16,850 if found guilty. Now, this case stems from her handling of a dispute with that particular businessman. He had claimed he was defrauded by a state bank in its sale of his stake in the sportswear giant Adidas. The business tycoon was then paid $445 million in compensation. Investigators suspect the arbitration process, however, was rigged in his favour. On its part, the IMF has expressed its continued support for Madame Lagarde. Let's dig deep into the details of this story. Daniel Rangers joins me now live from Washington, D.C. Daniel, I understand the case that got us to this point is a lawsuit that Bernard Tapie filed way back in 1993. Tell us about that case and how it links to the trial coming up in December.
Well, this is a scandal that has gone on in French establishment politics for years, as you say. So it all stemmed from the fact that Bernard Tapie, who was a very wealthy man who was the majority owner of Adidas at the time, was tapped to be part of François Mitterrand's government. So he went into the cabinet, but as part of that, he had to sell his stake in Adidas. He sold that stake via Crédit Lyonnais, the French bank, and then subsequently discovered that he thought they had basically swindled him and not paid enough for that stake. So he then launched a legal action. That legal action went on and on and on until the time in 2007 when Tapie switched allegiance and became a supporter of the government of Nicolas Sarkozy, and who was the finance minister then? Christine Lagarde. Now, Christine Lagarde took a decision that this case needed to be wrapped up and go to arbitration. And the contention here is this, that she knew in her mind that this arbitration panel would look favourably on this case, and indeed they paid out something in the region of 285 million euros plus interest, which brought it up to just over 400 million euros. She is accused of using her position to basically benefit a political ally.
What exactly were her reasons, though? I mean, aside from the fact that this case had dragged on for so long, what were her reasons for approving this payout, especially as finance minister?
Well, clearly, the argument that she will, or her lawyers will put forward in the trial in December will be that she was acting in the best interests of the French people, the French government, and that this was an opportunity to clear up a case in an independent manner. She wasn't involved in the payout of the arbitration panel. A statement from her office says she would like to reaffirm that she acted in the best interest of the French state and in full compliance with the law. In July, her lawyer said, "I am convinced that the court will find the allegations of negligence to be without merit." So she is going to have a firm argument. But the question in people's mind in France is this. This is a court that is hardly ever used. It's meant to try ministers. If it's hardly ever used, why would the current French government and the legal authorities believe that this is the right time to do it?
Indeed, it's a fairly thorny question. We'll keep tabs on the story. Thank you for that. That's Daniel Rangers, of course, live in Washington, D.C.